Please join me in welcoming to McLean School, Madam Secretary Madeleine K. Albright.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction, which is probably longer than my speech, and for the invitation to be here. To the board and faculty and staff and parents and the entire McLean School family, good morning. What a gorgeous day. And especially to the amazing class of 2014. Congratulations, you have made it. This is a milestone you will remember all of your lives, and I'm so happy to be here and to be a part of McLean School's wonderful 60-year history of providing a remarkable education and a terrific community spirit. To the parents and grandparents who are here, if you are like me, I suspect that your emotions are somewhat mixed. You feel both incredibly proud that this moment has finally arrived and also astonished at how brief the interval can seem between diapers and diplomas. So here we are to honor the remarkable members of this graduating class. I do love giving commencement speeches. Now the theory behind a commencement address is that the older person, that would be me, will share the wisdom of his or her generation with the young, that would be you, based on the older generation's superior insight into life. I'm not sure that there's a young person alive who actually subscribes to that theory. In fact, where you are today, I might well have some questions. For example, if older people are so smart, why is it so hard to create more jobs? Why can't we provide better health care to veterans? Why is there such a gap between rich and poor? Why, in the face of overwhelming scientific evidence, have we done so little to preserve the environmental health of our planet? And why do our politicians so often remind us of kindergartners who refuse to share the swings? And why are older people in general so clueless about wireless communications? So, given all these questions about my generation, I decided to try something different in my conversation with you. Instead of telling you what I think, I'm going to focus on what you think. Now, you might wonder how I could possibly do that. The answer is that I've been doing a bit of detective work. So during the winter, the graduating seniors received a questionnaire asking about school, your career ambitions, and how you see yourself. Now, I don't know what the school administration told you about who wanted to know all that. Well, I did. But I believe that a graduation should be primarily about the graduates and not about the person giving the commencement speech. So, thanks to your cooperation, and just let me assure you that all the answers were anonymous. I would like to devote the next few minutes to discussing the survey, which I found fascinating and really quite reassuring about all of you. For those of you who were not asked to answer the questionnaire, that is, those who are still students and families, I divided it into several sections: the McLean experience, next steps, and the graduating seniors' views. Your teachers must be so pleased to have had you, because when asked what your favorite subjects were, you really chose a large variety. History was the winner, but math was right up there, and there were also those who loved creative writing and science and Latin. I don't know, however, how many teachers noticed that almost half of you admitted to falling asleep in class at some point. As a professor myself, I sometimes am afraid that some of my students sleep with their eyes open. In addition to asking about favorite subjects, I asked what was the most important lesson each of you learned at McLean. And I think the most common themes were to respect yourself and others, to be happy, and that hard work and determination can get you anywhere. One student summed it up this way: anyone could do anything at the right place. Or another student wrote, anyone can become like family to you. Wow, what great comments. I then went on to ask how much McLean helped you to grow personally. Most of you have a lofty opinion of McLean. You give this school high marks for helping you grow personally and socially, and for providing you with the foundation you will need to do well in later life. As some of you wrote in response, a lot. It helped me become a leader, a great amount. I have grown so much as an independent person, incredibly. I was really interested in the fact that the majority of you have been here more than 5 years, but there are some who are relatively newcomers who feel very much a part of the community. I asked if you'd made close friends while at McLean. The answer was yes, and for the most part you would do everything to keep in touch with them. One person wrote, yes, definitely. I have made lifelong friends here. I've met many friends, and with the internet we'll be able to stay in contact with them. A large variety of extracurricular activities added a lot to your McLean experience. There were a lot of sports and music and plays, and I have to say, as I've come to see the plays, I can see how much fun you all have performing in them. Everyone is planning to go to college, and most of you think you're well prepared. One person answered very appropriately, I don't know, I'm not in college, but I feel like I am well prepared. Whether you feel well prepared or not, the colleges you've chosen better be prepared for you, because you're interested in such a variety of subjects for your majors, from criminal justice or sociology to sport management to engineering to history or film or education. You certainly have been taught that every field is open to you. Some of you have thought about what career you want to have. There also is a great variety in that: psychologists, policemen, doctors, actors, university professors. None of you wanted to be U.S. Secretary of State. Luckily for you, I'm not the type to take that personally. However, as an internationalist, I can say that I was gratified to see that most of you think it's really important to speak a foreign language. As one of you wrote, kind of important, helps connect with other people. And all of you said you would like to study abroad while in college. When I asked which foreign policy issues interested you the most, they were about the changes in the developing world, such as the revolutions in Egypt or Syria and Iran. And this matters because your generation, more than any other, will compete in a global workplace and be affected on a daily basis by events overseas. When I was in high school and college, which was sometime between the invention of the iPad and the discovery of fire, we got our information out of books, which we found in a library, after we had looked them up on a card in a catalog. So I was very interested in how you got your information. Obviously, some of it comes from your parents and teachers, but mostly from the internet. And I think also you were savvy enough not to post too much about yourself on Facebook or other social media. I asked if you were optimists or pessimists about the next 10 years, and I can say that the class of 2014 is by large majority optimistic. There were a couple of people who weren't sure, one who doesn't believe in either, and of course there's always the realist. So whether you are an optimist or a pessimist, or as I say about myself, an optimist who worries a lot, you are about to enter a new phase of your life. You will meet different people, you will travel, you will have new experiences, and most important of all, you will continue to learn. And learning, by definition, means exploring areas of existence and opinion with which you're not already familiar. So here comes the advice. Instead of choosing to read or to listen only to the people whose views make you the most comfortable, choose instead to study those who make you the most upset. Instead of repeating over and over again the opinions you've expressed in the past, ask yourself why you believe as you do and submit your own conception of the truth to the rigorous standards of critical thinking. Above all, I ask you to understand that there's an enormous difference between entering into an argument for the purpose of proving how smart you already are and engaging in research and discussion for the purpose of stretching your mind and giving free rein to your conscience. At the beginning of my remarks, I was willing to admit that adults don't have all the answers. In fact, we've screwed up a lot. We're counting on you to make sense of a confusing world and help solve some of the problems that we have created. You will be able to face the future with confidence because the skills and values you developed at McLean will go along with you. As I mentioned earlier, one of the most consistent answers to my questionnaire was about what you'd learned at McLean. You responded self-advocacy, which I understood to mean that you've learned how to be yourself, how to find your strength, and how to be a strong individual. I believe that's an incredible gift. As undoubtedly the oldest individual in this tent, I can assure you that working to be a strong individual is a lifelong pursuit. It's a combination of knowing what you believe in and believing in yourself so that you can continue to learn. In giving you all this advice, I do not mean to place the weight of the world on your shoulders, for that will always be your parents' job. Teachers, in answering my questions, the seniors made very clear that their favorite part of McLean was you, the teachers who cared. You are the ones who made McLean School's commitment to excellence real. You are the ones who have given these graduates an invaluable gift. Graduates, I believe that with your McLean education and experience, the direction in which you already appear to be moving is the right one. Take advantage of it by continuing to ask questions, listening to what others have to say, applying what you learn to the many tasks that you will face in college and the wider world, and believing in yourselves. By following this path, you will do yourself a favor, make the world a better place, and cause your parents, brothers and sisters, grandparents, and friends to be even prouder of you, if that's possible, than they are this morning. In closing, I invite you, the members of McLean School Class of 2014, to live each day with the knowledge that your actions and choices truly do count, and that every challenge surmounted by your energy, every problem solved by your wisdom, every soul awakened by your passion, and every barrier to justice brought down by your courage will inspire others and enrich your own journey on this earth. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this occasion.